Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren, and for the longest time, while BFA has been in the beta, I've been making videos talking about as many classes as I could, trying to figure out which classes I'm going to end up playing for BFA. I feel like in Battle for Azeroth expansion, it has been the hardest decision to make, which is going to be your new main and which alts are you going to play. We won't be able to spend our time playing every single class in the game, so it is definitively important for us to find that one class, or maybe even two, that we will definitely be playing, hopefully a class that we enjoy for the new expansion. In this video, I want to give you guys my list of 5 classes I will definitely be playing for BFA and my reasons why. Because so many of you guys ask me what classes am I going to play, what classes should you play. Maybe my reasoning might cross over with your guys' reasonings and might help you decide which class you will definitely be investing your time into when it comes to Battle for Azeroth. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to the video. The first class I will definitely be playing is Shaman, which is weird because they're not the best class right now when it comes to Battle for Azeroth, but after watching the old Warrior cinematic, how would somebody not want to be Zappy Boy himself? But seriously though, Elemental and Enhancement Shamans are the two specs that I'm interested in out of the Shaman class, and they still have a lot of work to do. So honestly, I'm getting some underdog vibes here, and as somebody who played Combat Rogue back in Mists of Pandaria, and if you played Combat Rogue back then you would know how garbage the spec was, I love these underdog vibes, which makes me want to play the classes a lot more. I've been playing them in Battlegrounds, and in Dungeons, in PvP and PvE, and I'm even leveling my second Shaman over in NA, even though I have one on EU servers. And on top of that, we're also excited to see what kind of changes Shamans will get with patch 8.1. So knowing that the classes and the specs are going to change within the next patch, I am excited to see where Shaman is going to be, and I'm excited to see what Blizzard is going to do in order to help adjust and fix the playstyle for Elemental as well as Enhancement. The second to last class is going to end up being Mage. After watching the Jaina Warbringers trailer, how does somebody not want to be a mage themselves? Just like Jaina, maybe even lifting boats out of the sea. Even though my character might never be that strong, that cinematic did really give me some Jaina vibes, and maybe take a look at my Mage yet again on pre-patch. During pre-patch, I found the Blizzard changed the spec, not by much, but overall it feels more like a glass cannon spec, a lot more emphasis on the cannon and not nearly as much emphasis on the glass. In player versus player combat, this is where I found most of my joy with the Mage. I always felt like it played fine for dungeons and raids, but when you go into player versus player, it feels like the frost lineup and the combos of your abilities with big crits actually start to come together. Arcane Mage seems like a powerhouse where you just want to stand still and just cast powerful arcane spells back to back, or be the mobile kind of spell slinger that you want to be. Something that always wanted to be in Legion, but I feel like never truly realized. And of course there's Fire, where finally my Pyro Blast can feel very, very meaty, and the burst feels a lot more spiky rather than rampy. Overall, it turned out to be a lot of little changes that made mages feel very good. A lot of little rebalancing of taking away some sources of damage, but taking that damage out of one source and putting it to the other, where the spec starts to feel fluid and feels really, really good. So I feel like in BFA, finally Mage for me is realized. Even though I would have loved to check out Mage in previous expansions, in BFA they're looking really good. The third class on the list, kind of the middle of the pack, is going to end up being the Hunter. Now for the Hunter, it's been no surprise that I'm going to end up playing my Hunter. I feel like what Blizzard ended up doing for BFA for 300 specs is took the time to kind of separate them a little bit. Of course, you still have your Beastmaster Hunter, your Marksman Hunter, and Survival Hunter, and the way that they play is not the most complex playstyle, but I feel like it's a lot more definitive. You have Beastmaster, which has a lot of pet play and playing around procs and auto attack damage of your pet. You have Marksmanship Hunter, which is all about big spiky bursts but not really consistent damage afterwards, big executes, big openers, and of course you have Survival, which is the melee version of the Hunter. Now what they've done to Survival, I feel like has made a very unique spec with enough mix of damage over time as well as single target abilities with fair amount of burst, and of course interesting playstyles in terms of single target, pet play, dot play, as well as how you AoE and cleave targets. I feel like they found probably just about everything that was interesting in World of Warcraft, every cool mechanic, and stuck it all into one specialization, which is why I'm drawn to the Survival spec for Hunter in Battle for Azeroth. The second class on the list is going to be Warlock, mostly just for demonology, and I love what Blizzard has done with that one spec in particular. To address real quick, Affliction and Destruction are also great specs that deserve their own whim, but for me, I fell in love with Demo. I honestly feel that the playstyle for Demonology Warlock is objectively the best out of all the classes in the game. I feel that the way their abilities interact off of one another and the way that you kind of weave your rotation around, where it's not a static rotation of 1 2 3 2 3 2 2, but it kind of changes a little bit, it adjusts a little bit depending on the procs, depending on what pets you have, and of course it plays around the whole empowering your pets, which plays really interesting when it comes to the I guess implementation of it in dungeons, raids, and in PvP. Besides the unique experience of the spec and playing around with different pets that you have, I feel like they're a great example of how WoW class redesign works, and a great idea for how Blizzard should approach some of their other classes if they go about redesigning them in the future. And of course, the very last, the best class and the best specs that I'll be playing in Battle for Azeroth is of course the Rogue. I mean, it's been my favorite class since the beginning of World of Warcraft, and so far it has retained me playing Rogue this long. I keep enjoying every single change that has happened to them so far. Some I like more than others, but overall, I guess I'm just enjoying it. In Battle for Azeroth, Outlaw Rogue is no longer kind of hampered by the RNG and the randomness of your damage. It brings back certain aspects of old school combat Rogue and incorporates them into the Outlaw, making a nice balance of steady damage as well as a little bit of fun RNG. Of course, there's also Assassination, which has a whole load of new talents, so that's a lot of new builds to play with, as well as an adjusted mastery to finally function with both poisons as well as bleeds, which opens you up so many doors for different opportunities and different playstyles for different situations. And of course, it's still Subtlety, and the only thing I want out of my Subtlety spec is to be able to slam big damage into my foes, and Subtlety can still do that, which makes me satisfied. So far, Battle for Azeroth is looking like a good expansion for me to play multiple alts. With the way that the expansion is gearing itself, it seems it might be a little bit more alt-friendly, which for someone like me who likes to play multiple different classes at the same time is going to be awesome, as I never get bored with whatever I'm playing. And of course, we also have patch changes in 8.1, where they're going to be taking a look at some of the classes in big need for changes like Enhancement Shamans, Elemental Shamans, Shadow Priests, and more. In 8.1, it's an opportunity for Blizzard to take a look at all their classes, all those specs, and change the ones that are kind of feeling not that great. We've seen Blizzard alter certain specs like Demonology Warlock and Survivor Hunter, going from not as popular and kind of weird to play to something that is fully functional, fully playable, and plays like a charm. So it's an opportunity to see what exciting things Blizzard will end up doing with all their classes in Battle for Azeroth. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. As you always know, comments are for you. Feel free to use the comment section in order to let me know which classes you're probably going to end up playing. Is it Rogue? Is it Mage? Is it any of the classes I mentioned? Or is it something that I just didn't even touch on at all? If your class didn't make it into this video, chances are I'll end up playing those classes eventually as the expansion goes on, as I do want to play just about every single class, or at least have the general knowledge of just about every class on base level. Let me know your thoughts and your ideas in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the description if you want to get any of our social information, as well as the Discord link if you want to join the community there. And as usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell if you're going to hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one.